here I am again, making a mockery out of myself immediately because I had to do this, so that basically I had to do this so that it stands out to myself, so that I know that this is the right video to be like, what are you doing? What does this mean? Please, in translation it says you, and what happened to me, and it says, well, then I saw a video of myself somewhere going so let's just pray to God together that just turned me into a king somewhere. That someone said, with my Adobe Photoshop or whatever the family is on YouTube, I'll try to circle a king crown on you, a halo, an angel. How about that? The most colorful, most beautiful angel halos ever that slowly come towards you and says wow, what if it just went perfectly over my head now? That's called the sheets and stuff. When you go to Universal Islands of Adventure, Universal Studios Islands of Adventure, they have sheets, and then the lasers scanning over the sheets where they have a bunch of photos and smoke machines and stuff, and lasers just kind of sitting there and stuff. And I used to have one of those. And you're just one mouse click away from having a brand new laser now. When you pay the extra price, you're usually going to get an extra nice product. Now that's the theory about you pay a premium, you get a premium. You want premium lasers? That's $7,000. You get what I'm saying? Now a billionaire, or a millionaire, I did this thing in the shower the other night. It was if you have $1 million, do you feel happy? And I was but do you have $6 billion? And it says, now I feel happy. I love it because it's called this. $30 million, $700 million, $751 million, $651 million, $755 million, $722 billion. This is a trillionaire, a zillion dollars. Hi. Now, what that did for me is that when I found out that about $30 million made me feel comfortable as estate and planning and a part of this world, it says that because then it made it say, it made it so that, please, for the love of God, somebody tried to get me $1 billion or something and said, you got it, it's in my bank. Now someone's got $1 billion. Now pretend that's your money. What would you do with it? That's it. What would I do with it? Alright, first off, I start off the video saying, I trust you with my life. Now this is it. When you trust that even if the seal on this thing's been tampered with, we're doing a tamper element, non-tampered with, this is called purified drinking water by Great Value. It says, would you, as a billionaire, would you trust this water from me? It says, it's from Walmart, it's Great Value, Walmart's a billionaire. It's you trusted a billionaire with your life. Now look, I'm going to try to open this as a test. So I just broke the seal. Now this means I'm about to test it first. Smelling it, a little bit of the residual plastic smell, probably nothing bad, probably did it just right, the water and everything, don't worry about what I just said. Unless this thing sits out in the sun for 4 months or 5 years, the plastic in the water, it probably wouldn't even hurt you, and that's it. It probably wouldn't hurt me, but I'm not telling people to be a super god or superhuman and be able to drink just plastic bottle water and just drink it. So never take my advice and realize what you just said. You said never, ever, ever. No, wait. I said never take my advice. I don't know if I just said that out loud. Never take my advice. It says, how about this? Take my advice. If this sat out for over 5 years and then it tasted and smelled like plastic, don't drink all of it. Don't drink all of it. Get rid of someone else out there would say, I'll drink it all. And then say, so don't follow in that one who said, I'll drink it all. Be a normal civilian and just fresher water. Trusting this with my life so that it'll make me more beautiful or something. And think about it, so much water inside your body, and your body's I'm about to make a bunch of platelets and CO2 and I'm gonna turn this stuff into a lot of stuff, my own core, my own brain, my own body, I'm turning it into stuff. It says that I think they just caught that thing, it's not see, Kevin Scott Pepper's Kevin Scott Pepper, and it's not okay for some other man to mix with my wife or mix with me. I don't want my wife to have another penis or another man mixing with her in any way, shape, or form. And I don't want to be a mixed mutt of a bunch of different men. I want to be one boy and I wanted to be Kevin Scott Pepper, one boy, you know, and I don't want like multiple men and stuff inside of me or like trying to become me in any way, shape, or form. You're like, exactly. Don't try to become me. Now we're talking about like, oh, a role model, a leader, someone that like, well, I based my life ethics based off of something that you said to me earlier, or something that says, well, that's called what would Jesus do? And if you're literally like trying to behave and like become like Jesus, now that's a real trendsetter that says you're something that's untouchable then because of aptitude and because you're an original human. You know what I'm saying? And like you're definitely original. So this is like what we think it is. It's called Kevin Scott Pepper. And he's definitely like trying to do the right thing, and he's trying so hard that said that like, it's okay. I understand what it means to go to the gym and work out. I know what it means to go to the gym and work out. I know what it means to have like trapezoids and like this thing. Well, remember, your muscles usually, it's like if you don't use it, you lose it or something like that. It's been like 6 months or like a whole year since I've been to the gym. Now, I had a faith and a story about myself that said that like, my body remembers all that stuff. And if it's not like starving and it's not like eating its own muscles and stuff, but like where's my traps at? I'm not sure either. I don't know how to even target that. But like my chest muscle, when you target your muscles like that little thing, like someone that targets it so much that they're like, I know, it's like doing a push-up or something at like the same time, or like, you don't even know like what the target muscles are and stuff. And, like when you go for like building and construction of muscles and it's like the right workout plan, they're like, now when you're that, not even sick, you know what I'm saying? But like if you are sick and you're such a macho awesome, like you still work out while you're sick, and that's me. Like I'm down to work out while I'm sick. Compared to like, how sick are you? Probably not very sick. It's like, because if you're really sick, you're not going to work out. You might lay around for a long time. Now, here comes the theory about God, laziness being a sin. Now what I did, it is not laziness because of this. My brain and like how complicated my body is and stuff is less complicated, more like us, a worker then. You know, we work together as what's called a big family or a big heaven. We try to build a heaven, and says, if you give the architects your praise that put this building together, that put this house together, and said, of course we slaughtered or like slain like a big group of Mother Nature, you get what I'm saying? Because we had like trees and stuff that we slaughtered, and we like put them through like wood wash and like pressed the wood and like made the wood like malleable by getting it super wet, and then it hardens and stuff. And like when you've got kind of a warped, kind of warpy looking wood surface house that's like the building codes, regulations, like drywall. Okay, here it comes, drywall. Now where we get drywall from, it's like how it's made on basically everything on earth. It says if you want the how it's made on Kevin Scott Pepper, that would be me. Kevin Scott Pepper being like, well, they didn't have like high quality like picture cameras and stuff back then. They just had like this, like a body that would say like, I witnessed this, or I witnessed that, or like, don't lie to us. Did you actually witness this? And the answer is like when you stand in front of a judge and say, I'm here to say the truth, nothing but the truth, and always the truth. And like, I refuse to tell a lie, even a white lie. Like, don't even white lie then. You know what I'm saying? Don't white lie. Try to tell everybody and anything the truth. And I said, if you're always good and you're always really good to this world and everything you do is good, then you're never going to have to lie. Now, if you've done something even remotely bad, you might be tempted to lie because there's consequences for those that do bad things on this world. And that's why people white lie or someone lied, because they're scared about that. Like, I'll be in jail for the next like 30 days due to that. Like someone's law or someone's government that said that like, well, what if the court martial or the court system says, I appreciate you always telling us the truth. So it's something about like one of these kids that had like a little bit of a controlled substance, the FDA, like controlled substance awareness, that these kids that like had like a small amount of that, like a class 1 or a class 2 or a class 3, I don't know law. Now they say that's probably like, if you think about it, a literal federal penitentiary that literally makes you like stay there, and it costs money on the federal penitentiary, and it's called a punishment so that you're scared enough of it that you'll never do it again. Compared to like, if they just talk to you eye for eye and just say, never do it again or never do it, then that'd be like, you're never going to do what's called, what? A class 1 scheduled felony because of that. Like one little tiny pill or something, or one piece of this or that, like these pills and stuff that eventually, due to street value or due to like girls and stuff or men or someone getting so excited about it, eventually someone passed a law and says those are law makers before they're breakers. Lawmakers before they're breakers. Lawmakers before they're breakers. Lawmakers before they're breakers of what? Of their own law. It says, because what if at first it was like, I never want you to touch that. The whole, what do we call it? It's a plant, but all because it's a plant doesn't mean that it's safe. There's a lot of plants out there that are that. Very much so lethal and on accident, because somebody on accident eats this stuff and says, I don't know what's going to happen to me, so let's all stand back and observe the results. Now, if you're like, I feel amazing, like, you're going to maybe want to keep doing this thing, and then 5 years later, I still feel amazing, I look younger and better than ever before, then you're going to probably want to be like, all right, it's safe perhaps for my daughter or my children or my wife to eat this stuff with me or to be around this stuff with me. Now, if we're eating this stuff and we're doing stuff together and stuff, and she loves it, and you're like, here's my worst nightmare. But like, it made me feel amazing, and everything was great. But here comes like my daughter or my child that's allergic to it and starts breaking out and stuff, and I'm like freaking out about it, and there comes what you have. Hopefully the right doctor. Hopefully the right doctor is what it's called. What do you call 911? That means I have an emergency. What happened? My daughter ate a peanut and is like reacting, and she's breaking out in hives, and I'm terrified. Like, why don't you have a doctor medical kit already in your house from a doctor that's like, get the EpiPen ready, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get an EpiPen, you inject it in her thigh or something. You know what I'm saying? You need like nurse practitioner. Now I understand. When you go to school as a nurse practitioner, so you've got the general gist of taking care of your children, your mom, your dad, like a neighbor's like, I'm a certified nurse. Now I can do CPR on the spot, I can do this, I can do that. I've got like a defibrillator on a wall. Like, your house is looking more like a doctor's office already because of that. Like, you're studying, you're going to school, you're doing all this stuff. Now there's a lot of doctors out there that allow their kids or children to do that. Like, there's a little teeny bit of pot upstairs and stuff. Now the cops straight up zoned in on that thing and said that like, we found a class 1 a felony then to have like a gram of pot. It says, well, that's if the law in your society says it's a felony to have pot. Now that means the consequences of a felony and being a felon due to pot in the wrong society. Now, if you go to pot in some other society, stay away from their society. They might be like, off with your hand, you know, for touching pot. We're be like, no, not at all. The reason why we made pot illegal is because we thought it might hurt you. Now, to cut off your hand and be actually hurt, now that's called, you just break the law. That's not good. You get what I'm saying? Like, we're trying to protect you. If we think pot's good for you and good for our society, hallelujah. For those that were like, I think it's good for me. I think it's good for me. Now 10 years later, 20 years later, they might be like, the lung cancer theory, I stopped Kevin Scott Pepper from smoking pot because of that, the lung cancer theory. And it's someone trying to save me and make me live forever. Because they said, if you're going to get tartar in your lungs, and like, not tartar, tar in your lungs. Tartar in your lungs would be like, this isn't supposed to be even funny, but what? A filet of fish, and like, you're like inhaling this filet of fish, and you're like, and then you straight up like a piece of tartar from the filet of fish just goes boom right down into your lung, and then instantly you're just like, and you might need like a Heimlich maneuver, or you might believe that you're like straight up asphyxiating. Now, where I'm from, I'm trained about asphyxiation because of surfers and surfing. Now, I've taken some straight up surfing, my own surfing lessons. I'm sorry that I did this to myself, and this is why everyone would be like, stop surfing then. But here it is. I beat myself in the head with my surfboard sometimes. Because why? Because if I started to black out or get dizzy due to a concussion underwater, now that's the Mario thing, like, that's it. I knew that, like, if I can't survive a straight up boom, like hitting my head on my board underwater, yeah, it fucking hurts. Yeah, you might be bleeding. Yeah, you might be about to die. You might be about to die. Compared to like the training that I went through, I trained myself to be able to take quite a bit of some bludgeonings by my own board and stuff. Compared to like, that's when I just quit surfing forever. I just said, I'm over it. It's not worth it. Like, I've already seen it a million times. Oh, here's a kid on a 35-foot wave. Here's a 12-foot wave. Here's a 5-foot wave. Here's, now this. Would you go surfing at Kira Point on like the, or whatever this thing is? Apparently Kira is like what I was told, it's like a right-handed, like perfect barrel. Like, would you go surf that way with us if we like hooked you up and we're like the Aussies or whatever? And like, you're just like, please, just can you do it? And the answer is, oh, absolutely. Now, going as deep as possible compared to like looking at the chandeliers and stuff and having like the beads of water like exploding while like the wave is like, you know, and you're trying to like basically like kind of keep your momentum and everything. And you're like, so like when you're like wheeling, or you're not at all, you're like, somehow you're so focused on, like some people say, stare at the lip of the wave and like tune into the lip of the wave and stay to get like close up in the tighter up in the pocket and stuff. And so like you're riding way up in the pocket and then like, whoa, like, see, there's different techniques and stuff, and you gotta like visualize this stuff. It's like way up in the pocket, like watching the wall of the wave, like bending your back to like get in there just right. Like, of course, they'd be getting barreled due to that, and like you're slowing yourself down with your arms and stuff, and you're pulling your arms out to like go faster and stuff. And like when you're reading the wave, but then you need to know that like this thing's about to go, like there goes the runner, and I see that like there's a tunnel that I can make it out of this thing. I can, compared to like there's a point where you can't, and it's called like, even if you're super duper deep, you gotta get like way down the line and then be like, now you're about to go like so deep because of that, and then just like, here I go, like he's going for it, it's like 45 mile per hour, like Mick Fanning just straight up going for it, like you've got so much speed on the right equipment, and you're just like, oh my god, dude, like revolutionary, like 12 out of 12, like everyone's just like, fucking mental god, like boss, you know, like throws down the 10 out of 10 or 11 out of 10, says, I'm done here. You just got like the best barrel that ever happened at Kira or something. And, like, it's called that. This, like, a surf contest, but like, no contest, dude. We're just here to be so stoked and so excited about you being a surfer, and so that, like, so, like, I'm a surfer, and I understand, like, getting barreled and stuff and how awesome it is. Like, I'm trained on, like, Satellite Beach, Florida, Buccaneer Club. We've got a right-handed, like, kind of like a point break ourselves. It's not exactly Hush. I wrote the published editions of Cheese It, and like Cheese It 101, or just Cheese It in general, and that's a Second Life forum like legacy about Cheese It. Now they knew me as a little kid. When I'm a little kid, and I'm a grommet then, and I'm 4'10", I look up at these waves and they're straight up God. Like, this is like triple overhead right now to me because I'm a little kid. And they'd be like, it's triple overhead, it's going off, and they'd just be like, he's a kid. Now that he's an adult, it's head high. You know what I'm saying? It's head high. It's like I'm going surfing or something. I mean, all right, I get it now. Now Cheese It Christ, like Cheese It Aliens, or Cheese It Mary. Now Mary, it's it's right here. It's like, oh my god. My literal Seattle wife was like, I'm serious about this. She was praying for me instead of like, I told you, Kevin belongs to like the Christians and the Christ family, like the children of God and stuff. And like me as a snowboarder or a surfer, or all these different like abilities of me, now snowboarding, I don't pretend to be something I'm not now. When I'm at like Mount Baker in like perfect Seattle, wait, this is perfect Bellevue. This is perfect Bellingham. I'm at Bellingham, and I'm going to Mount Baker with my best friend. And I'm living the life, and I feel amazing. They had already like tried to get me to like smoke some of this and said it's called like bubblegum kush. Like, I hope you enjoy it. First thing I said, I've never had any type of schizophrenia or psychosis ever outside of this. If I stay up for about 5 days and I don't get like super duper regulated sleep, and I smoke a little bit of pot and I drink a little bit of beer, by day 5, I do believe I'm trickling into what's called a slight amount of psychosis. And that was a way to safely expose myself to what? Like a schizophrenia exposure that was like, I'm kind of done with this. So I stopped smoking pot and I started to sleep and I got back to being normal. But how I felt, I was in a castle. I was in a castle with my friends, and they even called it the castle. I don't remember what they called it, but it was something castle. And there was like real, like, you know, smart kids, poets, like the best stuff F minus is what someone got on their test. I usually get A plus. Why do I get A plus? Because I talk to the professor, and if I'm not going to get A plus, then I need to talk to the professor even longer. The professor's like, I'm busy. We're like, come with me, like you're about to see like whatever my professor's abilities are. And then when like they're like graced by you, like your happy smiling face your happy body, dressed up in whatever you wanted to dress up like. Now sometimes I dress up like a holy figure, you know, I got like colorful garments and stuff, and I'm like walking around doing this, compared to like this. Like, what does that mean to you? It says that like, well, Kevin on the episode that like, they're like, you must be the Holy One. Here's all the virgins for you. Like, you're going to impregnate all the virgins? I'd say, like, yes, I am. I'm going to impregnate all the virgins. And like, I would be like, absolutely, I accept that. Now, something out there knows like what I was talking about, because it's called like, when he's like, I'm on another level, I'm on another level. And I'm like, they're just like translating the other level. And so they're like, well, Kevin accepts all the virgins. You know what I'm saying? Like, I accepted those virgins you're offering of like 70,000 young, perfect virgins that are like, okay, like perfect 18-year-old virgins in the United States. And so they're like, I'm a virgin, I'm 18, and I waited until I was 18. It says, apparently it's safe for me to masturbate to you, though, because of that, because I said that, like, you're allowed to masturbate to Kevin Scott Pepper only. It says, the girl that only gets wet for Kevin Scott Pepper. It says, that's it. She only gets wet for Kevin Scott Pepper. So, like, anything to do with Kevin Scott Pepper, now the sexier Kevin Pepper, this Kevin Pepper, that Kevin Pepper, like, there's so many instances of Kevin Pepper now. When my wife or my angels or my virgins are like, we want you to do this, 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 like, stop eating a bunch of like greasy food and start working out. And I want to see you get to your like pinnacle of existence again and be like, I'm so beautiful that I'm so excited about my pinnacle of existence and stuff. It says, you know what that means. You know what that means? It says that like, this, the pinnacle of existence. It says that like, see those cute little like dimple things. When they're in the right place, get rid of like no plastic surgery and stuff, my own body, like trying to be like, I think it's going to be perfect soon. It says, don't worry, like the body fat, the skin, the this, that, like everything's about to be optimized. Now, I surfed a lot. Now I'm still white though, and I've still got it, like, you know, like, perfect. It's just like, I'm absolutely excited to go back to school then and be like, the right type of school. It said that like, see, I told you you were in heaven, you were with us, you're with like all your best friends and family in Bellevue, Washington. Now go back to Washington and just stay with us forever. I've had it with like Florida or whatever they are. We're that, like the whole idea of what is this? Now I'm not going to name drop. I'm saying it's a renaissance where we invite beauty. We invite like perfect. Like we want you to have a better wedding ring than this. You know, this is like your wedding ring. It's like, see, some of the wedding rings are super duper 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 sparkly and stuff. This one's kind of like that. Like I'm actually not sure now. It might be a piece of salt. Well, how about that? I'm Mr. Pepper and that would be Mrs. Salt. And so sometimes when I'm like listening to techno or something and someone's like, hi, it's me, like actually like the real DJ and stuff. It says Mrs. Salt, you know, and she's doing fine, like or Professor Salt or like Agent Salt or something. It says literally like your wife, your FBI wife, or like Agent Salt is like on the case already to say that, like your wife though, like stuff like that. It said Mrs. Salt and then Pepper, like Mr. Pepper, Mrs. Salt, like, and then some of these very like enticing, interesting offers from Melbourne. Like, I'll go to what I believe is my real friends' houses, and then they'll be like, there's some mysterious girl that lives here that like, called like Salt or something, and like, I look around and I never see the girl physically or something like that, but like, Salt, like, I don't know, and they're like, that's it. Who's the lucky girl this time? Or like, what was the lucky girl? And so that like, because she like, that was it. Like, it wasn't exactly a raffling of like me, like, trying to like, oh, find the best of Kevin and like the real best of Kevin and then raffle it off somewhere. It says, not exactly, but still like, buildpuzzle.com or Bitcoins are like the right type of millions of trillions of dollars. And so they're like, a millionaire then. Like, I'm a millionaire, $30 million. It says, what would you do with $30 million? It says, immediately, I guess I'd do this. I'd be moving into the top quality like suite of somewhere around like what, the University of Washington again? Because it'd be like that. And then I'm moving into the top like floor of somewhere. And it's at the University of Washington. It's perhaps a little bit temporary. It cost me like $40,000 up front to just immediately seal the deal. And so that $40,000, I'm going to stay there for like, what, 2 months or 2 weeks? And, or 2 weeks for $40,000, and that's it. If you got $30 million, for like, so 2 weeks equals not worth $40,000. And it says that I'm not going to like that. It said that like, I know exactly what the real Kevin Scott Pepper is now, because I've got your address, I know exactly where you're at, and I know that this, the real Kevin Scott Pepper, this is like, he's so much fun. Like, this is it. Like, okay, now imagine this. You're in the top floor of the suite of the best place, like Pentium processors, top suite, everything's perfect, the boss loves you, and like, so like, when you're at your house, like, look, getting yourself into a heaven because you're like, I'm at my house and I'm having the best time ever. It's like, come on, do it at our house too. Like, we wanted to have a video conference or something that says, oh, the concept, the theory about this, like, even if you're at the penthouse and you look out the window and it's perfect Seattle skyline, or you look out the window and it's this and that, or like, when you go downstairs, we're like, here it comes, the parachute and the hammer. That says if you're going to the top suite of Intel or any of these office spaces, you need a straight up, like this, either hilarious jetpack or it said no. Human drone. Human drones. You hold on to it and it saves your life and it deports you like a robot. It deports you from the top floor and then sends you off into the bushes with your human drone. That you hold on to your drone and you like lock yourself into it. Like it's kind of like Iron Man. It like grips you and says you can't get out of me until I let you down. It's like a drone that flies you out of the top floor and sends you down compared to like parachute. And you're jumping out of the building and you're pulling your parachute because if an earthquake happens in Seattle and you're up top, I just saved, like, Intel's like, you're priceless. Now get this man a wealthy, like, all right, I just saved someone from Intel or something. Like, no more earthquakes is real savior. Now, on the level of real God and, like, the vibrations of this planet, we need to pray right now that there's not some kind of gravitational influx happening somewhere of, like, some type of God, though, that says, please, we need to watch out, because, like, we don't want the flux to be, like, and then the earth to have, like, an earthquake and all these cities and stuff being, like, dude, we might be in some trippy existence where, like, no, that would be it. Our worst fear or something. Instead of, like, but at least we're flying through, like, time and space on our, like, our jetpack hovering, like, flubber, like, saves my life. Like, something like that, like, the true essence of flubber. This! The top of the pyramid, and, like, God's army or whatever. Instead of, like, God's army, we're like, okay, like, if God had an army and God said, please don't use your army against us. We come in peace, and we're like so sorry because we just want to bow down to you and just be like, I don't want to ever like have an army like summoned against me. You know what I'm saying? And, like, world peace. Our world leaders love you then, and like we need to be like, please, for the love of God, we want peace. We want peace. We want peace. We want things to like calm down. And so that like what I'm doing right now in like split time, like thoughts and reality, and, like answering someone else's prayers in the background, like you've definitely just answered someone's prayer. So, like, I know, I'm nervous to go to the top floor of all these Seattle skyrises now, stuff like that. Like, I'm so nervous, and I'm scared to be at the base of them, too, because I'm looking out at these things and wondering, like, how dangerous is it to even walk through Seattle? It says the danger level, if you're having, like, you know, the ring of fire and all that stuff, and, like, stuff's, like, going on and stuff, then you're basically, like, I think that, like, we need to go to, like, what, like, Colorado or something like that, because we need to go up, like, in the mountains. To be like, I'm on a mountain somewhere, like the earth might be shaking somewhere, but like when you're riding those waves, yo, and my mom said, I've seen this with my own eyes. It's straight up concrete and mass, like wavelengths. And it's such a wavelength that stuff's just like, oh my God. My mom has been a witness to that. Now, I don't know, are you going to call it Jehovah? Is that a Jehovah's Witness? Like, with the waves of the sound of math or something? Like, we don't know what it is, but God. Because, like, all of our houses, all of our families, everything still remained, and it's, like, perfect. It's, like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's perfect. And so, like, I'm excited to be in Seattle, and then so, like, so let's try to clean up the streets together and not be, like, the bad type of cleaning up the streets. Like, these hobos, they don't mean anything to me. Like, I'm a billionaire. I'm at the top mansion. I don't want hobos all over the place in Seattle. I can't even go downstairs anymore without them being, like, give me a fraction of your net worth. You know, like, give me, like, $500. It's, like, I'm freaking terrified about what these weird, it's like the episode from SpongeBob with the pineapple, where you're sitting in your pineapple and everything's perfect, and then this weird sardine van shows up and they start, no, it's the worms, and they try to like drink your pineapple, and you're like, you're drinking SpongeBob's house, like, get away from SpongeBob. And then it's like, stop, like, can't you get these worms to just be like, alright, we're not eating, we're just gonna like go somewhere else, compared to like, see an innocent pineapple under the sea, and then something that shows up that's like, without you there, it was so perfect. But with you there, you're trying to drink my pineapples and stuff. It's like, we want these things to stop. Like, why did you get created? Why did these worms even get created? We're like, now we understand what a rapture or these bad words, like, okay, so look, like if SpongeBob comes out with a straight up can of Raid and it's like blasting, blasting the straight up worms with a freaking can of Raid, it's just like, SpongeBob? I don't know if that's G-rated or like mommy and daddy being like, I'm scared of bugs and stuff because they used to be kind of like that. Like, I'm terrified of bugs. I don't want like, wow. That's like SpongeBob. SpongeBob's from like the future, some robot techno cleanest future where like I see the worms coming and I've got my can of Raid out. And that's called having a can of Raid out ahead of time. Compared to being like next time, the can of Raid was there. Compared to like the first time, there wasn't a can of Raid. And so that like you're trying to negotiate with these worms, like what are you doing in my house, my pineapple? How do I grow another one? How do I grow like 15 pineapples? Compared to like, don't offer those worms even like one pineapple because it's that a thief to us then. And like when it's stealing from SpongeBob and it's stealing from me and it's trying to steal from you right now. And stuff like that. And so that like you're trying to get a thief to back off, to stop, and you gotta negotiate with these worms. I'm putting these worms in like a straight up cardboard box or something. Now the worms grace. What do you think those worms do now? If you're dumping Dixie sugar crystals on them and adding water, those worms might be like, we're not sure what we're gonna become, but we got Dixie sugar and we got like water inside of a cardboard box. Now that's it. Worms that turn into like caterpillars that turn into a butterfly that then turn into like a flapping angel that's like so beautiful and knows that like now that I'm so beautiful and I'm like not gonna eat SpongeBob's pineapple, I'm just gonna like float closer to SpongeBob or like land in and have the wings and stuff. I was like, my wings are beautiful. I'm beautiful. That would be like SpongeBob's like that. You, the actor that had the voice of like SpongeBob and stuff. It says it's amazing what we do. Now sometimes they find the sweet spot by like, I'm not gonna do this anymore. But like you're like changing or like you're squeezing on your neck and stuff to like make a funny noise, and so that like I'm not going to do that. But like that's it. SpongeBob that had like the right type of worms, and that's called a successful SpongeBob G-rated episode. It's like instead of the house getting like sucked dry, it's like SpongeBob goes to the grocery store, goes to the probably like the chum bucket first, because it says that like when I go to the chum bucket and I talk to Karen, and I'm like, wow, SpongeBob actually showed up at Karen's office and said that like, so Karen, like, what do you suggest about these planktons and these worms? And so it says, well, if I scan one of these worms, I'll give you like the best valid translation for to like, that wouldn't be ethical of Karen the robot, because it says if she scans those worms, she might make a false reality for that worm. Like the worm itself didn't want to be scanned at all because there's 5,000 worms and only one of them went into Karen's processor. So that would be what is it? 5,000? So it's what? 5,999 plus 1. Now I need to check that. I'm going to check that. Please don't have me forget this thing. I'm trying to like 5,000 minus 1. Now minusing 1 to Karen, oh yeah, it is. It's 4,999. Oh my god. So all those perfect little worms with one worm that ends up around Karen or something, and then Karen being smart, being like I don't know what it's going to do. And so that like, well, your suggestion, these worms need a new house. These worms needed their own worm mansion or something. It says like, they love SpongeBob's pineapple, is by definition. Like, they love SpongeBob's pineapple, but they know that I'm not supposed to eat SpongeBob's house. So, that's it. Mother Nature, on another level of consciousness right now, it says that like, when there's perfect pineapples and perfect Mother Nature, and then the worms and the insects and the aphids are like, we won't eat any of your perfect house. Which is like, thank you so much. If a scarecrow then, or luring them out of like wherever they are, and like, that's it. You put a bunch of like offerings down somewhere where it's like, and then you try to direct them with your energy and say, there's better offerings over here, and it's not poison. We're not poisoning you. We're not putting like, it tastes so good, it tastes better than a pineapple, but now I'm dead. Now that's called pesticides and the tricking of ants and stuff, and they're like, oh my god, it smells and feels so good, and then all of a sudden these poor little ants, now this is the saddest thing I've ever seen, ant piles in collective mounds of dead ants. And sadly my mom, she did that, and I didn't, and I was miserable about what was happening, because she was putting ant granules around the outside of my house. Normally the ants, the lizards, the trees, everything's growing perfectly, the ants aren't poison. Now these ants are like, like this tastes amazing, but then they're eating it and then they're like getting sick, and they're actually sick, and then they're dying, and then they actually go to a collective pile, and that's so sad because they're dying together as like a family, and they're just like, it's so wrong what my mom did and what pesticides are, because it tricks something. Now I'm the opposite of that. I started to immediately counterbalance my mom and her intents, and it's sad because my mom's my mom. But like my mom under the wrong type of government influence or the wrong type of agency. Where me, is the opposite. I take like my finest ingredients from my fridge that's not poisoned and put it all over the front lawn or around the house. And my ants, they survive, they live, they grow, they prosper. Like, and with me, maybe luckily, they'll somehow some queen that like spawns wings, the ant queen that has wings. And it's like that's like a termite, and it like straight up is like, if you knew how beautiful it is to have one flapping termite, like look at the wings and stuff. Like, what if that's what it was like? Like. It was like flapping, and I was like, wow, wow, and it was like, and I'm floating and I'm flying, and we're like, you know, like the bee that's like, and like, we're like those bugs that like testing out flight for the first time, and it was like real fast, like this, like the tips of these 2 water bottles. Now, this, the whole, I'm a bug. Now check it out. If this is like the best like Bill Nye Science teaser or something that says, don't even worry about it, just check this out. A fly that's from this that wants to go to that. And the fly's like, it's kind of like the Matrix for the fly. It's like, can I do it? Can I do it? And then they're like, see, like the whole like, you're not exactly fat, but this right here was supposed to be for my beauty. It was supposed to be like, I'm trying to develop new skin, and I'm trying to have like my skin like be replenished and fortified, and I realized like, don't get too fat, but eat the right amount of fat stuff, because like sometimes being a little bit fat means that like inner beauty or like an angel or something that's like just the right width, just the right everything, like, you know, but like don't eat a whole bunch of donuts and stuff, like work out every day and burn all that fat off. And your BMI index right now, probably like a 27, and my BMI before that was like a 17 or like a 16, and like when I was about to bring my BMI to an 11, and that's called just straight up fasting, and I was just straight up fasting and becoming skinny and stuff. But when you're a weight builder and a body working out, and like, that's it. You eat a lot of stuff. It's like lean meats and stuff. And if you have to slaughter your own meat, welcome to being like a father or a dad. This is like, I know. That'd be called slaughter this cow in front of me. Like, do you understand what dad had to make me do? You know, like picking up a machete and just like hacking away at this cow's neck and just ripping the cow up and stuff, and saying that like, you gotta rip that cow up. We're like, please, for the love of God, and that's what they called it that. They said, I'm not sure if that's evil or not, but like, sure. And then you like take the blood and you're doing like blood offerings. Like, don't douse yourself in that cow's blood. You might be like, what the fuck? Now that's a straight up ritual from like Indians or something. They straight up drink the fucking blood of the cow and stuff. It's like, oh my God, you're so much not an American, but somehow you're like a mixed religion or something. Now said that like, what this thing right here does, just stay focused. The ant, it's like the Matrix. It's like, I can jump from there to there, but I need to like pre-calculate it. It's like, to the ant, or the ant that has wings perspective, perhaps gracefully, compared to like the butterfly that's like, now you understand why these butterflies, they go places and then they go towards lights and stuff. They had a god like me or something. You're like, don't land on that light, it's too hot, you might get burned. Now, I don't want you to just have a temporary existence of like, I flapped for like a little bit and then I'm done. We're trying to find these flies. Now, flies being some kind of super species that like harness the ability to like and then land it perfectly. Where like the faster flight, it's like I flap my wings and I like, it's kind of like that, like a crotch rocket rep to 40 real quick, like boom. You know what I'm saying? Like, phew. Now when they've got sticky little like whatever their feet can like walk upside down and walk all over stuff and stuff. So their feet, you know, and like the microbes or the atomic connections, like the literal values of their quarks and gluons and stuff on display for me. And it's just that like, so it's like quarks and gluons that are like connecting to biology and atomic values, and like there you're done. I can't go any further. Some other scientist might like pick up where I left off. That's a video though.